Bob, listen, I think I got something. I don't know what it is.
One of the things that I love about the movie is how it makes you feel like you are in their shoes. You feel like you are urgently trying to get the information.
Gotta get something on paper.
The movie's incredible and stands its test of time. Dialogue is sparing, the acting is great. Hoffman and Redford are very credible stand-ins for Bernstein and Woodward.
Is there any place you don't smoke?
They could have come at this many, many different ways, but they decided to tell the story heavy on the relationship between the two men.
I think mine's better, but you go ahead and read it. If you think yours is better, we'll give yours to the desk.
And also the ups and downs of being an investigative reporter.
You guys are about to write a story that says the former Attorney General, the highest-ranking law enforcement officer in this country, is a crook. Just be sure you're right.
It's a very believable film. That is what reporting is. Slaving over a story, calling people, getting people hanging up on you.
I don't have time for this. I'm a busy man.
Getting people to slam their door in your face. Lots of people who don't want the truth reported, and that's what comes across in the movie. Not to mention, the newspaper looks like a newspaper. It's messy, there's no privacy, it's loud, it's obnoxious. I mean, that's what it's like working in journalism.
The newsroom buzz and the activity is one of my favorite parts because it just gets your adrenaline going. The weird thing about newsrooms now is you don't have the click, 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 click of the typewriter. You don't have the bzz, bzz, bzz of the wire machines. It's kind of a bummer. There's something that is almost Pavlovian for me that gets me kind of in the zone of wanting to report when I hear that.
That's the confirmation right there.
Hi, I'm Bob Woodward of the Washington Post.
Yes, what is it?
Robert Redford was somebody who obviously revered various American institutions, including the right of a free press. And that was something that was obvious in All the President's Men, but also obvious in his later work when he did other stories about journalism.
Robert Redford got it. In order to make a film that is timely, you really have to get creative and find your focus. And the focus was not only the reporting, but these two men and the way that they interacted with one another, interacted with their sources.
How is there a story in there?
There's a story in that because there's a lawyer in the office. I mean, you're more resistant than she is.
That's right.
Why?
Because there's not enough fact.
I have the good fortune of having heard the real Bob Woodward and the real Carl Bernstein talk about their interactions with Robert Redford and him saying to Woodward and Bernstein, this is what I want to do. This is my goal. And when you watch the movie, you see that he achieved that goal.
This White House guy, a good one, a pro, came up and asked, what is this Watergate compulsion with you guys?
Compulsion?
I
This is a
said-
story. This is not compulsion. Well, wait a minute.
I said, well, we think it's important. And he said, if it's
Thanks.
so goddamn important, who in the hell are Woodward and Bernstein?
I know late era Woodward and Bernstein who love each other and respect each other and delight in each other's successes. What Woodward and Bernstein in the movie, Redford and Hoffman have, is almost like an anti-chemistry. You believe that they don't like each other.
We didn't have it, that's all.
Bullshit, we had it cold.
No, we didn't.
Why didn't you say so?
You think bitching about it is going to get the story where we want it?
It just happened that Robert Redford was the guy who made this movie happen, but he was also a perfect Bob Woodward. He looked like a blue blood. He looked like somebody who was as determined as he was and kind of came from the background that he came from. And Dustin Hoffman played a schlub. And no disrespect to Carl Bernstein, whom I love and I consider a friend, but I think even he would admit to you that he was much more of a ink under the fingernails, stains all over your clothes kind of reporter than Woodward was. They're brilliant actors. They played those roles the way that they did. That was the whole ballgame. That was the whole movie.
I read William Goldman's book, so I know about his adaptation and I know how he struggled to figure out what was the best way to bring this story to the American people cinematically, because it's different than the book, obviously. The book is a collection of their encounters as to how they broke the stories they broke related to Watergate, whereas William Goldman's job was a different one. He was trying to tell the story in a different way. So all of the guilty verdicts and the results of the success of their bringing the truth to light is told in a teletype at the very end, rushed through in 30 to 60 seconds, as opposed to the trials and investigations by the Watergate Committee and the FBI of those individuals.
Can you tell me what you know?
You tell me what you know.
The Deep Throat character in particular, as a journalist, it's almost too good to be true. Never mind the way that the visual portrayal of it, which was just genius because it made you anxious. It made you worry that somebody's going to come out and see them and catch them. And it made you pissed because he was speaking in riddles and you just wanted him to spit out what it was that Woodward needed to know.
Just follow the money.
And then finally, towards the end of the movie, Woodward gets as mad as we were as the audience, which I love.
I need to know what you know.
It is almost hard to believe that that kind of source existed. Can you imagine somebody saying, put a potted plant on your balcony, and when the plant is on your balcony, I'll go? I mean, it's like stuff out of a spy movie that would actually never happen, except it happened. I can't even imagine that Woodward and Bernstein would be in the stratosphere that they are still 50 years later if it had just been tremendous reporting, tremendous news articles, a really good book, and not the movie. The movie is the thing that captures the cultural moment and lives on.
Nothing's riding on this except the First Amendment of the Constitution, freedom of the press, and maybe the future of the country.
It's a beautiful and compelling film about one of journalism's best moments in world history, not just American history, world history.
Good, solid piece of American journalism.
The performances by Redford and Hoffman make it crackle on the screen. The writing is so spare and brilliant by William Goldman. But at the end of the day, the true story is what drives the whole thing. It is two scrappy young journalists who don't know any better, taking on the most powerful man in the world and amazingly winning, bringing the truth to light.
Give me your notes so I can
These are the notes.
These are the notes?
Yeah, I got stuff on napkins, matchbooks, because I'm writing in the bathroom while she's getting the coffee. I'm a walking litter basket.
Crazy.
Here.
Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein didn't take no for an answer, and they stuck with it against a lot of odds and a lot of pressure from the president himself. The founders of America understood the importance of a free press in order to hold people in office accountable. And what Woodward and Bernstein did was that to the nth degree. Every time I see that movie, every time I think about that era, it does give me inspiration as a journalist and a reminder that we can't stop. We have to keep doing it. And the more we get pushback and the more we get threats, the more we have to push and the more we have to dig and dig and dig and not give up.